Dolo Dorsey, how you feeling? You here with Street Sauce TV?
Man, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to finally get in touch with you. All right, so when it comes to hiring people, can you put anyone on your payroll?
No, hell no. You got to be fit for the job. You can't be someone that likes to paint cars and do cars and try to be my DJ. It don't work like that. You kind of got to fit the role.
Okay, so your friends, like, you can't create no position for none of your partners.
I definitely can create the position, but you still got to fit the role. I'm just not going to throw you in the fire and expect you to, know how to put it out if you ain't never done what you trying to do.
Okay. What was your first job?
My first job was a soccer referee. I played soccer when I was in high school, middle school, everything. So I became a referee just to make a couple of extra dollars while I was coming up. So first.
And when was that? Like 16, you was a soccer referee?
Yep, 16, 17, 18, and then I stopped there.
Okay, where'd you go to high school?
Stevenson High School, east side of Atlanta.
Okay. Think it's an advantage coming up over there?
Definitely. We got a lot of I call us goats. We got a lot of goats that come out of Tunde, Sean, a couple different athletes, couple different artists, a couple different everybody, music execs and other things. So Stevenson definitely was a part of my career, my life plan.
Okay, you went to college?
Started college, went maybe 2-3 years at Georgia State. Never finished, but got a couple more credits to do. But it was definitely a part of my career too. I love college actually.
What made you stop going to college?
Coincidentally, a couple of my teachers asked me for jobs, so it was kind of weird, for my teachers to be trying to get employed by me, and I'm here to learn from you. So I felt like I did go to college and stay in there for knowledge and the network and the community in itself and learning how to be an individual and adult at the same time. But once I kind of got those skills, I felt like it was, time up for me.
Okay. Now, you were throwing high school parties in college?
High school parties in college and high school parties in high school.
You was throwing them in high school too?
Yep.
Because I was going to ask you, how did you create your marketing? But you was in high school throwing the parties. So when you left, it was kind of like nothing stopped.
It started with doing house parties, of course, and then mama ain't letting you have it at the house, so we had to figure out somewhere to do it. So we went to the skating rink, Hollywood Skate and All American Skate, and then it came a thing. We became good at it, so we did, of course, like homecoming after parties, prom after parties, and then of course it kind of started the weeklies and stuff like that.
Now, being that young and renting out the whole skating ring, were y'all renting out the whole skating ring, or how was that working?
Yeah, you got to try to figure out when they're not as busy and try to kind of help elevate their business. So the skating ring that was kind of near my house, they kind of closed at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And of course, parties were after that. So I used the closed skating ring to be our event facility. And it was right in the middle of all our neighborhoods. So parents didn't have a problem dropping off their kids and come picking them back up because it was literally right outside our neighborhood.
Okay. So would you think that was like the first business you owned?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely one of my first businesses. And of course, it helped me start all of my other businesses.
Were you doing most of that by yourself, or you had a team that you was working with back then?
Definitely a team. Our team was called Team Millionaires. Most of them now are LVRN. So the Tunde, Sean, Carlin, we all kind of grew up together in high school, and then of course he met his other business partners in college, was at Georgia State. But definitely my first team, Team Millionaires.
So college was definitely a key as far as mixing and meeting different people?
For sure. Network is the biggest network you can have on a day-to-day, walking to class, from people staying in your dorms to actually in your class. Like, it's just a huge network to me.
Okay. As an entrepreneur, is it hard times for you sometimes?
Definitely. Way harder than easy. Shit. It's not, no one pays me, so I have to go figure it out.
Okay. So do you feel like you work for your other businesses? Like, being an entrepreneur and saying you own so many businesses, does it feel like you kind of work for your businesses or for your brand? Like, you're not necessarily...
I am still a worker, yes. I do not want to be here forever. The point of being an entrepreneur is to elevate so your money's working for you. However, right now I'm in the space where I do have to be a worker until I'm just seamless, where I don't have to be there. When I don't have to be there is when I feel like I'm not working no more. But right now I gotta be there.
Because I was going to ask you, I have a question, like, what's your end goal with all this? And would you like to automate everything at a certain point?
Automated. That's the end goal, to have everything, operate and run without me being present. More so, I just check numbers and check. And of course, you have to still be attentive to your businesses because no one's going to treat your business the way you're going to treat it. But I do want it to be automated and just keep rolling without me there. Goodfellas probably is one of my only businesses that rolls seamless without me being present or checking on it or anything of the such.
Was that in the plan from the start when you was building it, or did that just come about and happen?
It kind of came about and happened. Goodfellas we obtained when we had the after hours one. So it was more so obtaining the pizza restaurant so our after hours could maintain and actually open. But now that we have Goodfellas location number 1, the goal is to get 10 more.
Okay, across Atlanta, or are you trying to go state to state?
Across the world, Goodfellas to me is a college-based philosophy where we have a $9.99 special for wings, six-piece wings, pizza, and a drink. It kind of sounds college to me, so I'm gonna go more after the college markets. UGA is probably my second location. Then I'll go into a couple of different other states, but college markets right now is my next goal for Goodfellas.
Okay, now Goodfellas is one of the restaurants that's open all week.
Right, 7 days a week. Of course, we extend hours on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, but we're open till 2, 3 a.m. on Monday through Thursday and around 4, maybe 5 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's pretty cool to have something like that that's just automated.
Automate is the goal of every entrepreneur, honestly.
So what's the most money you've ever made in one night at one of your clubs?
One night, one club, 240,000. Profit isn't the same because of course you have expenses, but definitely the most I made in one night, 240.
Are the expenses and overhead pretty low?
Overhead is more so the general expenses that you're gonna incur as an opening of a business. My extra expenses might be the talent that I booked that night, extra radio, extra whatever I had to do on top of my regular scheduled program. So of course, yeah, those got to definitely come on top.
Okay, and then everything else is kind of like
everything else profit.
And then so the specific nights, like, is radio promotion and different type of promotions different depending on what's going on in the city?
For sure. Of course, when you have a birthday bash or a holiday weekend where you have out-of-towners coming in town, radio is definitely way more effective than when you have a regular weekly. Regular weeklies, people usually use other different forms of promotion, Instagram and shit, different social media platforms, text blasts, email blasts. But radio is a tool that people use when people are coming in town because they trying to figure it out rather than them being on my email blast or on my text blast or actually following me per se.
Okay. Do you write your goals down?
Every day. All the time. At least once a month. You kind of can't really have a goal without writing it down because you kind of can't execute it in your head. So like I try to get everything out of my head, even if it's just an idea, that I might not execute today or tomorrow, but getting it out of my head is definitely a must.
How long have you been like writing stuff down?
Forever. Like I'm RIP to the trees, but I use way more paper than a little bit, and I throw it away. But most times I keep it. I keep it for repetition and duplication, honestly. And then once I get to duplicate it, I try to digitize whatever I do write down so I don't lose it. Okay.
What was the first club you opened?
First club, Capture, age of 23. Me, myself, and my two business partners, Chris Berry and Kevin Edwards. Actually, Fo Diddy's also involved in that. It was right next to the old Privé, which we obtained Opium as a sequential different business, but it was right next door.
Okay, and y'all split. So was that the first club? That was the first club you owned. Did they own any clubs? Or was it everybody's first club?
Kevin owned a couple different restaurant lounges, clubs, Cafe Circa, and a couple of the Indigo, and he had a couple of different restaurant style clubs, but all together, that was our first real nightclub.
And how'd you meet Kevin?
Kevin, I met through Chris Berry. Me and Chris used to run Club Miami. Him and Kev became real cool, and me, Fo, and Chris did parties together. So obtaining a club of bigger capacity than Kevin was used to. He needed more people, of course. So we brought the people. He'd run the business. We kind of, formed a partnership.
Okay, so y'all were just building a brand, and then they kind of came in.
We all just fell into place.
And would you say that's how you opened up more and more clubs?
For sure. I kind of use my whole network as a CocaCola Enterprise type of situation to use my network to be able to open other businesses.
Okay, can you take me down into that?
Coca-Cola is an enterprise and a company. So Coca-Cola is a product for its, on its own, but the enterprise itself runs Sprite, Powerade, Dasani, whatever. So my philosophy is to use my Coca-Cola Enterprise, which might be my parties, my clubs, to do a Seasalt, which might be my Sprite, to do a Goodfellas, which would be my Powerade. They all have their own website, their own Instagram, their own phone number, their own management, their own staff, their own everything. But of course, it kind of gets piled back into the Coca-Cola Enterprise, which is my clubs, me, and everything else that we produced.
Okay. You usually be in your clubs on the weekends?
Almost a must. Like I'm there when I'm not either on other business or vacation.
Okay. Do you get tired of being in the clubs?
Everyone is tired of their jobs in general. So of course I get tired just as anybody else, but it's a job until it's automatic. Until it's automated.
So I see you got a big following on Instagram. You deal with the groupies?
Have to. Everyone is important to the business. So of course keeping them at the distance that you want to keep them, yes, but have to deal with them. It's a must.
Are you married?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. How long you been married?
This year will be 4 years, so 3.5.
All right. Did you know her before you started opening up clubs?
High school. She was a senior, I was a freshman. Then we, went our separate ways because she graduated, and then met again as we were at Georgia State. She was a senior and I was a freshman. So we kind of got back into the groove back then, and then it's been there since.
That's what's up. Would you say you always had a good pulse to the city?
Yeah, I am. I'm not gonna say I'm a people's person because I really don't like people, but I do like to be outside in general. So I do every type of event you could think of. I go to all of the Screen on the Greens and people's mixtape release parties and listening parties and whatever the biggest concert is. I go to all the basketball games. I go to everything. So just being out and around kind of helps that, being in the network.
You feel like you're going to go down as one of the biggest clubs owners in Atlanta?
I actually would not want to go down as the biggest just club owner. I would rather go as the biggest entrepreneur ever. Clubs just happen to be what helped me get on.
I do feel that because you were talking about like taking a restaurant down to the colleges. That's a great idea. And the like model that you already have with the business you already built there. You know what I'm saying? That's way bigger than just owning clubs.
Right.
And
so
saying,
clubs
you know
just the initial, of course. Everybody has to have a start somewhere.
Definitely. Would you have change the route up if you could?
Never. You can't really plan your plan. It's just kind of, you get and accommodate to your environment. So I definitely wouldn't change anything that I've been through. Sports, college, high school, everything. I feel like it was a part of the game plan.
Any new businesses you opening up this year?
Tulum, 2022. Hopefully we open on Cinco de Mayo. Of course, Tulum is a Mexican city. Cinco de Mayo is a Mexican holiday, and honestly one of my favorite holidays because I drink tequila. But hopefully opening Cinco de Mayo, which is May 5th.
Do you smoke weed?
A lot of it. A little more than a little bit.
All right, it doesn't slow you down though.
Nah, it's actually a part of my life. It kind of helps me deal with people, and I feel like I'm a little more creative when I actually am in the act of smoking weed.
You read books?
Audio now because it's hard to sit down and focus on just reading. But I do like knowledge, so listening to books is more of the 2022 thing that goes on with my life right now.
Okay. Do you exercise regularly?
Every day, at least 5 days a week. Sometimes the weekend, incorporated basketball to get a little more cardio, but gotta balance the liquor and the lifestyle.
Okay. You think going to the gym does help your body out a lot?
Yeah, it keeps me going. I kind of don't really have a schedule, So the gym itself gives me the energy to wake up in the morning and stay out at night and, maintain just everything else I deal with.
Okay. You got a lot of friends, or you still got the same friends that you came up with?
A little combination of both. Friends aren't people that you have to speak to every day. So I do have a lot of friends because, of course, I grew up here. But having the same circle that I kick it with every day isn't always the case. Tunde and Sean and all of them are really my really, really close friends, but talk to them once a month because we all kind of busy. So definitely have the same circle of friends, same circle of people I hang out with on daily. Definitely is different because we all in different ways of life.
So having all the businesses, how do you try to be everywhere at one time?
Impossible. Of course, you have a team. Like I said, every different business has its own entity of everything. So different website, different management, different staff, different everything. You trying to use everyone in the same bubble for every different thing is impossible. So I try to be there as much as possible, but having a team is definitely important.
Okay. You be buying a lot of designer?
I don't as much because it's not as important to where I'm trying to get to. Of course, I still maintain the look of what the world wants to see, but I'm not a big designer head. I really like to dress, of course, but expensive brands isn't always being able to dress. So I shop on a continuous basis, but I'm not trying to impress the world with Dior, and of course I got it, but that's not me.
Okay. Do you buy stocks?
I buy everything. I buy stocks, bonds. I got savings bonds. I got CDs, which is certificate of deposits. I got anything you could think of.
Okay. You into cryptocurrency?
Not as much, but I did trade when it first started. I still have some that I just bought and held, but I'm not a day trader.
Okay. More like an investor, you buy just what you like.
When people tell you or give you insights to buy certain things and that they're a trusted source, I do invest into different things. So like I said, I buy and hold, and then when it seems the need to sell.
Okay. So as an entrepreneur, do you think like club money is like the closest thing you could get kind of to drug money? Like it's fast.
Yeah, but with any big risk, there's a big reward. So of course, opening a club looks like it's just easy, but our clubs cost us $1.5 million. So having these big returns on certain big nights definitely comes with it. But I would like to go into more Goodfellas where I can make $1,000 or $5,000 a week, but then I got 10 locations. So, $1,000 from 10 locations, that's $10,000 a week where I don't even have to be there. That's the goal.
Okay. And you don't have to be in another nightlife or anything like that.
I kind of got to be there right now. So to make these big, large amounts that I still have to, sacrifice time, and everybody wants to drink, and, I'm out till 5, 6, 7 in the morning, where Goodfellas, I don't got none of that shit.
Okay. So when you opening up a club like your club Tulum, that's right. The name's Tulum.
Yep, Tulum.
Okay, when you open that up, is that paid for? Like y'all came up off all that cash before y'all even open?
Yeah. Of course, some is broken down. So Tulum specifically is all paid out of pocket, but different situations have different things. So like if you're able to take out a loan or get a credit line from a business that has certain things that you want, it's sometimes easier to do that and then pay them off rather than cashing all the way out. So like sometimes different speaker or sound or light companies might have a credit program to pay for $250,000, $500,000 worth of equipment over 6 months, 12 months, rather than me spending $500,000 tomorrow on light, sound, and stuff like that. So most everything, of course, we paid for out of pocket, but when you do get the chance to use somebody else's money, use it.
Okay. But coming out of pocket, like if y'all don't make no money the first 2 months, it's okay.
Yes and no. Sometimes I'm not saying you'll use your last, but same thing. If you're using the bank's money, whatever comes in is a little easier to maintain. But if you're using all your money and there's no money coming in, you're kind of like in the negative on top of the negative, because like once you cash out, you're looking for money to come back in. But if you were using the bank's money and a credit line, you're not as stressed or dependent on the income coming back immediately.
Okay. Were you financially literate about credit when you were coming up?
Not at all. Honestly, shit, I didn't really have. It's not that I didn't have good credit. I didn't have any credit. So no credit is bad credit. So having a 750 credit score with nothing on your credit, you still can't get shit. You still have to have something to show a good rapport with the credit bureaus to still get these big loans or whatever you're trying to do. So I had okay credit because I didn't have anything on it. But then of course I couldn't do shit with it because I was like a baby in their eyes.
Understood. So anybody, you got anything you could tell anybody that's coming up, like that maybe wants to open a club or be an entrepreneur?
Coming up, being a club, for one, I say start small. Don't try to go and open the biggest. Open something smaller where you can maintain the, for one, expenses, but to grow your crowd rather than trying to open something huge and then, you know, you start losing because you can't bring the people there. General business, I just say stay consistent and proactive. Every day, everyone's given the same 24 hours. It's just up to you what you do with it.
All right, I appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.